Hello, everybody. Today I am presenting a new video regarding material synthesis from inception to application. And in this video, we will explore that while synthesizing a new material or developing a new method for material synthesis, first of all, we have to conceive a new idea. And then through literature search, we check that either our idea is novel or not. Then we design the experimental setup to carry out the material synthesis, and then of course we go for characterization, and at last we go for application of material in a particular field. This is the presentation overview, introduction, methodology, results and discussion, and conclusion, as well as acknowledgements. So first of all, introduction. Nanotechnology is a branch of material chemistry and the technology that deals with the study of nanoparticles is known as nanotechnology. And as you know that nanoparticles refer to the particles with range in size from 1 to 100 nanometer in any particular dimension. The nanoparticles have high surface area to volume ratio. Mostly the nanoparticles have higher catalytical activities, and nanoparticles show enhanced chemical as well as physical properties. So here is an outlay of nanotechnology, its application in different fields, for example, in catalysis, biological uses, biological applications as pollution controlling agents, and as well as in fuel cells. The classification of nanomaterials on the basis of dimensions, we can classify nanomaterials into zero-dimensional, one-dimensional, two-dimensional, and three-dimensional nanomaterials. And as well as based upon shape, we can divide nanomaterials into spheres and clusters, nanofibers, wires and rods, thin films, plates, and bulk nanomaterials. The synthesis or fabrication of nanomaterials include top-down approach and bottom-up approach. And as you already know that top-down approach starts from bulk and it results into size reduction to nanoscale. And in case of bottom-up approach, we start from atoms or molecules and we convert these atoms and molecules into comparatively bulk material or nano. Synthesis of nanomaterials, there are three general methods for the synthesis of nanoparticles. Physical methods and physical methods have certain examples, for example, mechanical milling, nanolithography, laser ablation, sputtering, and thermal decomposition method, as well as chemical methods include sol gel method, spinning, chemical vapor deposition, and pyrolysis. In biological methods, we consider the use of fungi, bacteria, and plants materials for the synthesis of nanoparticles. So, green synthesis is also a field of biological synthesis, and in green synthesis, this is an environmentally friendly method. This method reduce energy consumption as well as there is the minimization of waste products. And in this method, we use comparatively safer or non-toxic solvent that is water. Plant material, algae, fungi could be used in this method. This method has advantages over traditional synthesis methods due to its low cost as well as reduction in the mass of hazardous waste produced during synthesis reaction. So in this example or in this synthesis, we are going to use Jasminum mesyni leaves for the synthesis of nanoparticles, and we will synthesize cobalt oxide as well as nickel oxide nanocomposite using this plant material, and as well as the conception of new idea is concerned. This plant has not been used before for the synthesis of cobalt oxide as well as for nickel oxide, and also these oxides, cobalt oxide and nickel oxide based nanocomposites have never been used before by using plant material or plant leaves. This synthesis is novel or unique for, as the plant material is new, as well as the cobalt oxide and nickel oxide were not used in were not synthesized in composite form before using any plant. So first of all, we will go for the methodology of this synthesis, and very first we will prepare the extract of leaves. And for extract preparation, very first step is the collection of fresh and healthy leaves. And second step is washing of leaves with tap water, followed by washing of leaves with distilled water. Then there is the drying of leaves, and mostly we dry the leaves under air. Then these dried leaves are properly chopped, and then 30 grams of leaves are mixed into the water, and this water is heated at 80 degrees centigrade for 6 hours, and in this way the extract is uh, properly extract preparation has been properly done, and this extract is further filtered, and by means of filtration the solid plant material remains as residue, and this yellow to brownish colored extract we obtain for further use. For preparation of cobalt oxide and nickel oxide nanocomposite, we take the leaf extract almost 40 ml, and then we add the salt solution of cobalt nitrate and nickel nitrate 50 ml into this leaf extract, and then we do the heating and stirring at 80 degrees centigrade. This results into dark brown color solution containing cobalt oxide and nickel oxide nanocomposite. Then this solution is filtered, and we obtain these nanoparticles as a solid residue. So we can do the filtration, and if the particle size is very small, then we can use the centrifugation method for the collection of the nanoparticles. Then the obtained nanoparticles are washed with water, and in this washing we use distilled water. Then the nanoparticles are dried at 100 degrees centigrade. After drying, we further grind the nanoparticles, and then calcination is done to obtain the fine nano. So these nanoparticles uh, have been applied for photocatalytic activity. And in photocatalytic activity, we use a dye. For example, in this case, we use the dimethylene blue, and the mixture of nanocatalyst and aqueous methylene blue are mixed together. Then stirring is done in dark for 20 minutes. Then stirring is done under sunlight, and then the solution obtained contains the degraded dye products. Then we use the UV visible spectrum to study the dye degradation process, and then the data obtained from UV visible spectrum is used for further calculations. Characterization of the nanomaterials. The characterization of the nanomaterials is done by using different characterization techniques. For example, infrared spectroscopy. This technique is used for identification of the functional groups. UV spectroscopy is used for studying optical properties of the nanoparticles. XRD is used to study the crystalline nature and geometry of the nanoparticles. Scanning electron microscopy is used to study the morphology and the surface features of the nanoparticles. And EDX is used to study the purity and percentage composition of the nanoparticles. So results and discussion, and very fast FTIR analysis that is done with FTIR 8400S Shimadzu instrument. And in this slide, you can see the FTIR spectrum of cobalt oxide and nickel oxide nanocomposite. And the values 534 nanometer and 400 nanometer show the metal oxygen peaks of the nanocomposite material, and rest of the peaks indicate the functional groups present in the plant material. Then we carried out XRD analysis by using Broker D2 phasor instrument. This slide you can see the XRD pattern of the synthesized cobalt oxide, nano oxide, nanocomposite, and the data obtained from this analysis has been further processed by the instrument, and instrument gives us a plot of intensity versus 2 theta degree values, and this results show that there is the successful synthesis of cobalt oxide and nickel oxide nanocomposite. Then we also used UV visible analysis by using Shimadzu 1700 UV spectrophotometer. Uh, in UV spectrum, we obtained two prominent peaks at 339 nanometer as well as at 373 nanometer. And at 33 nanometer, this peak show the nickel oxide, and the 373 nanometer show the cobalt oxide peak. We also have done the SEM analysis, and for this purpose, we have used Nova Nano SEM for 50, and the uh, result of this SEM analysis, and this technique is used for the surface morphology of the nanomaterials. And in a picture, we can see the cobalt oxide and nickel oxide composite at low resolution. And then in the B part of this picture, we can see the resolution at 500 nanometer. And through SEM studies, we have found the particle size was equal to 15 nanometers. We also have done the EDX analysis to find out the elements present in the nanocomposite, and this study, EDX study, shows both qualitative as well as quantitative profile of the nanomaterial. And qualitative means that the elements, for example, oxygen, nickel, and cobalt are present. And you can also see some additional peaks. For example, there is phosphorus, sulfur, calcium, and this gold peak is shown. So gold peak is an artifact. This is not in our nanocomposite part present. Anyhow, the elements, for example, phosphorus, sulfur, and calcium, we may expect from the plant material, and these elements are present as an impurity in EDX studies of our nanocomposite. Then we have carried out the photocatalytic activity. Here are the graphs of photocatalytic activity in which absorbance is plotted against the wavelength, and as well as the percentage degradation versus time have been studied for the degradation of methylene blue dye. So here is the mechanism of photocatalytic degradation, that in this process we use the catalyst, and catalyst is mixed in solution form with the organic dye, and we put the catalyst organic dye containing solution into the sunlight, and under the effect of sunlight, the nickel oxide and cobalt oxide based catalyst degrades the organic dye, and its degradation products are water, carbon dioxide, and some sort of mineral acid. So conclusion of that by using jasminum resin as a plant material, we can synthesize cobalt oxide and nickel oxide and nanocomposite. And as I have already told you that this nanocomposite has not been reported before by using this plant material. So this is a new study using Jasminum resin plant material. Then certain characterization techniques, for example, FTIR, XRD, SEM, UV visible spectroscopy, and EDX confirmed the successful synthesis of cobalt oxide and nickel oxide nanocomposite, and FTIR, XRD data showed the successful synthesis of this nanocomposite, and synthesized nanocomposite have shown good photocatalytic activity against the methylene blue dye. So we can conclude that this jasminum machine mediated green synthesis is a better alternative to the conventional physical and chemical approaches for the synthesis of a nanocomposite. So I can conclude further that to carry out research in the field of material synthesis, first of all, we have to conceive a new idea, and then we check through literature search that either our uh, idea is really new or someone has already done this work. To check this, we do the extensive literature search, and then when by means of literature search we satisfy ourselves that okay, our idea is new, then we go for the experimental setup. We carry out the experiments, and then the material synthesized by different experiments is further characterized by different characterization techniques, and the synthesized material at last is applied for some sort of activity. And in recent example, we have done the photocatalytic activity of methylene blue. Dear audience, hope this video is quite informative for you. Please subscribe the channel and like this video, share this video, and your cooperation is highly acknowledged. And I hope that you will give your feedback by means of your valuable comments. Thank you.